This is a video on the key signatures. Key signatures have a direct relationship to the key circle. So let's work on the key circle a little bit here, starting with a circle. Oh, not too bad. All right. C. Now remember that the circle moves basically this way. And then we have a dividing line, by the way, between the flat side of the circle and the sharp side of the circle. Okay, the flat side of the circle will go this way. Now, this is, remember, this is for key signatures, not the key circle as such. Anyway, the sharps will go this way. So these are the flats, and these are the sharps. Okay, see, F goes at the 1 o'clock position here, and G goes at the 1 o'clock position here for the sharps. Okay, C, F, then 4 notes. It's easiest to do it up 4 notes rather than 5, I think, but that's entirely up to you. F, G, A, B flat, 2 o'clock position. B flat, C, D, E flat. It's let's see, 0, 1, 2, 3 o'clock position, E flat, E flat, F, G, A flat. At the 3 o'clock, 4 position, 4 o'clock position, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, 5 o'clock position. And remember that D flat is the same as C sharp. I didn't put that in there in the key circle, but it's sort of necessary here. And that sort of goes into that flat side, but remember that it's C sharp is enharmonic with D flat. Now there's 2 notes that is written differently, but are the same on the piano. D flat up 4 notes, D flat, E flat, F, G flat. And G flat is enharmonic with F sharp. Then you go on to G flat, you could say C flat. And C flat is enharmonic with B, because 4 notes above F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B. If you want to call it from G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat. So these notes are all enharmonic. Okay, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock position here, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. 3 o'clock position, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. Now I'm doing this with fingers and you know how many notes and so on, but eventually this just needs to be known without having to go through this. But I'm doing it for your sake. Okay, A, 4 notes above A, B, C sharp, D. And then D, E, F sharp, G. And 4 notes above G is C. So there's your complete circle, including these enharmonics at the very bottom here. Move this up just a wee bit. The D flat, the C sharp, G flat, or F sharp, and so on. Okay, now the key of G major, you could put up here at the very top if you want to do the circle from G at the top, but it's not necessary. The key of G major has 1 sharp, F sharp, or starting down here, key of G major has 1 sharp, F sharp. Now, remembering that the key circle for sharps goes this way. So from F sharp, then we simply go around the circle this way. These are the sharp, for the sharp signature. So F sharp, C sharp. Now we have to go into enharmonics also. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, enharmonic with A flat. So F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, G sharp, and 4 notes above G sharp would be D sharp, which is enharmonic with E flat. So this is the order of the key signature for the key of all sharps, by the way, not just G. G has only one sharp, F sharp here. But then if we go to the key of 2 sharps, then we have F sharp and C sharp. The key of 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. So it just continues that way from your F sharp down here. Then D sharp, up 4 notes, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, let's see, D sharp, E sharp, G double sharp, and then your A sharp. You got a double sharp in there. But anyway, you've got an enharmonic here, A sharp, and F is E sharp, and C is B sharp. Now, E sharp is a white note sharp, and B sharp is a white note sharp, and that's as far as you go. So, for the key of C sharp major, from here, you have F sharp. You always start with F sharp for all the sharp keys. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, B sharp. So there's your enharmonics there for the key of C sharp major. For the key of C flat major, now that's all the sharps. For all 7 flats in the key signature, you would start with B flat. You always start with B flat. So this is easy. B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, and then one more is F flat. Okay? Now you have a C flat, which is a white note, same as B, and your F flat, which is the same as E. Copy this out on your own paper, and then do it a couple of times, and realize the signature, the enharmonics, and learn this circle well. The flats go this way: B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, F flat. For the key of C flat major. For the key of C sharp major, which has all sharps, then you start from here. Now, F sharp, no, it starts from here. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, B sharp. Learn this well, copy it a couple of times, and then do it without any reference to anything. And you should know the key circle is based upon the word bead, B-E-A-D here, with B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. And over here the same thing, B-E-A-D. Then you've got the extra notes here, C and F, and you've got the extra G flat and F sharp here at the bottom. And then after your B-E-A-D, you've got the G and the C. So you only have a couple extra notes beyond the word bead. So that makes learning this a cinch. So learn that, but learn your enharmonics because that is necessary. Now let's apply this to the music page. Okay, we will start off with the bar lines, of course. Okay, treble clef, Am I too high here? That's much better. Then the treble clef. And then the bass clef. Okay. Now, in the key, we're going to write this out, first of all the sharps, and then all the flats. And then for each succeeding signature, you just use how many you need of these 7. So we start off with F sharp. Remember your sharps are 2 lines, they're real close together and fairly long, and then stubby lines here, fairly far apart and very short, outlining either the line or the space, indicating what sharp you have. So F sharp, now here's an F, but we don't put it here. We put it on the top line. F sharp, and the 2 stubby lines in the spaces. Just over a slight bit will be C sharp. Now on your signatures, F goes to C. Remember, we go this way. Or F sharp, C sharp, we go around the key circle this way. Flats are this way. So F sharp this way, F sharp to C sharp. Refer to your key circle, F sharp, C sharp. And we keep these all fairly high on the clef. F sharp, C sharp. Then just over a little bit, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, and E sharp. And there's your signature for the treble clef. It goes in a zigzag fashion. Okay. F sharp to C sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp, C sharp, 5 notes. Now, and that's also opposite. For your flats, you go up 4 notes or down 5 notes. For sharps, you go up 5 notes and down 4 notes. So there's down 4 notes or up 5 notes. Make a note of that. That's important information. Okay, now lining them up as much as possible so that you don't have your sharps for the bass clef coming way out here or just a little bit here. But line them up pretty well. F sharp on the second line down, which is the F line. F sharp. Good. C sharp. Just a little over. Okay. G sharp. G sharp. D sharp. Down to A sharp. And up to E sharp. And there's your signature for the key of C sharp major. Okay, now, if you have the key of G major, it has 1 sharp. Well, there it is. If you have the key of D sharp, which has 2 sharps, remember that's in the 2 o'clock position, you have F sharp and C sharp. And for the 3 o'clock position, you have F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. That's at the 3 o'clock position on the circle. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp. 4 sharps is at the 4 o'clock position. 5 sharps is at the 5 o'clock position. 6 sharps, 7 o'clock position. And 6 o'clock position. No, that's 7 o'clock position because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp. Yeah, that's it. E sharp. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You should have 7 sharps here. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, B sharp, for heaven's sakes. Now, E sharp and B sharp are the 2 white note sharps. Okay, there's your 7 sharps for the key of C sharp major. So, reviewing that once more. 1 sharp at the 1 o'clock position is the key of G major, and that has 1 sharp in the key signature. 2 sharps is the key of D. Now G goes to D, up 5 notes. That's the 2 o'clock position, so 2 sharps. 3 sharps, 3 o'clock position, 4 sharp, 4 o'clock position, 5 o'clock position, 6 o'clock position, and now why not 7 o'clock position? Oh, 6 o'clock position is the very bottom. That's the F sharp or G sharp at the very bottom there. Okay. Now, B sharp is the leading tone of C sharp, and that is the last, the 7 sharps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? Then, at the 6 o'clock position, right here, so that's the 7 o'clock position, the B, remember, F sharp goes to B, and then B sharp, of course, when you have sharps. Now the 6 o'clock position, E sharp is the leading tone of F sharp. That's at the very bottom of the key circle. And that's 6 o'clock. The 5 o'clock position will be B. And A sharp is the leading tone of B. D sharp is the leading tone of E. And that's at the 4 o'clock position, the 3 o'clock position, the 2 o'clock position, and the 1 o'clock position. So everything relates to the key circle as a clock. Write those out, and then I would suggest you write each signature out for each of the keys. Go on down, write another treble bass clef, G major, then D major, and so on and so forth. All you do is just simply copy the number of sharps that you need. Okay, and by the way, the brace. Okay, now the flats. Alright, a nice bar line here. Let's put that brace in right away so we don't forget it. And the treble clef. Ah, not good. Let's try that once more. There we go. And the bass clef. Okay. The first flat in any key is going to be B flat. I'm going to do these flats one after another from bass to treble clef here so we can make sure that they're lined up nicely. Okay, now remember that all the sharps keys will always start with F sharp. So the key of G major has an F sharp. The key of D major has F sharp and C sharp. The key of A major has F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. always starting with these sharps here and however many sharps you need for your key signature. And remember that each sharp is the leading tone to the key that it's in. So key F sharp, key of G. If C sharp is your last sharp, C sharp is the leading tone of D. G sharp is the leading tone of A. D sharp to E, to B, and to F sharp, and finally B sharp to C sharp. Okay, again, around the key circle. Now the sharps, remember, go around the key circle clockwise, and the flats go around counterclockwise. So B flat, as you remember, B flat, E flat. And we'll line that up nicely. A very light line and then heavy on the body. B flat, E flat, A flat. Okay. D flat. G flat. Don't like that. That's better. G flat. Alright. C flat. Now, these are all black note flats. B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. And by the way, there's your word bead. B-E-A-D, and then your G afterwards. And then C. And so there's your B-E-A-D, and then your first, then this is a black note, and then your first white note flat is a C flat. And then F flat. Alright, and that's the key signature for the key of C flat major. And then, if you have the key of F major, that's at the 1 o'clock position, so it has one flat, B flat. The key of B flat major is at the 2 o'clock position, and it has two flats, B flat and E flat, and so on all the way down to the number of flats you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the sharps are basically a zigzag, but you do have this zigzag, zig, zig, zig here. So this goes straight down. The flats are strictly up and down, up and down, up and down. So copy these and be sure you relate it to what you had here. So the key of C sharp, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. Here we go. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, B sharp. You have to relate them as enharmonics here because the circle itself is in flats and then sharps. Okay, and then the flat side of the circle, B flat, E flat, A flat, and so on. Well, that's easy. The key of F has one flat, B flat. The key of F is the 1 o'clock position, so it has one flat. And B flat is always the first flat. So 2 flat, B flat has 2 flats. Again, B flat and E flat. The key of E flat has 3 flats. It's at 3 o'clock position here. B flat, E flat, A flat, and so on. Make sure to understand the circle here and how that relates to the ease of understanding and writing out your key signatures. Write out each of these key signatures. For example, okay, we'll write that, and we'll write get the step where we see it. There we go. The brace, then the treble clef, and the bass clef, and want the key of D major, for example. Well, D major is at the 2 o'clock position. There's noon, there's 1, there's 2. Well, being at the 2 o'clock position means that it has 2 sharps because we're at the sharp side, on the sharp side of the circle. So D major, then you simply copy in the first 2 sharps here, which is F sharp and C sharp. And the same thing down here, lining them up as much as you can. F sharp and C sharp. And so on. Just however many sharps you need according to what the position is on this key circle. Down here, the key of B is at the 5 o'clock position, so it has 5 sharps. C flat is at the 7 o'clock position, looking at the circle backwards, you know. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 o'clock. But C sharp would be at the 7 o'clock position, looking at the clock from the front side. So you got to remember, you're working from the back side of a clock and the front side of a clock. And we'll do one more example here for you before we sign off here. Okay. Get this up where we can see it. Okay. I think that's good. Yes. Okay. First of all, the bar line. Then the brace. Then the treble clef. And the bass clef. Alright. Now let's say that we're in the key of B flat major. Alright. Referring to the circle here. Remember, we're looking at the clock from the back side now. The 1 o'clock is at noon, the 1 o'clock position, the 2 o'clock. So if you're in the key of B flat at the 2 o'clock position will take 2 flats. The first flat is always B flat, so you're in the key of B flat and the first flat is B flat. And 2 flats will be B flat and E flat. So B flat and E flat. And then line them up nicely here. B flat and E flat. And there's your signature for the key of B flat major. Okay. And then you write out the rest of them as much as you want to do. You should do as much of this as possible so that you get a very good handle on all key signatures. Okay. Now there's one little caveat, shall we say here, and that is that these signatures don't guarantee that you're in the key of D major or B flat just because you have these signatures written out. These signatures are valid only if your piece is in the key of a major, in a major key. When you get to the minor keys, that's an entirely different story, and I won't give it to you now because we don't have any use for them right now. But as soon as we do, I will work on the signatures and explain how these signatures relate to the minor keys. But for now, let's not confuse the issue. Let's keep it with the major keys, and just as I explained to you here, the key circle shows everything that you need. It's all based upon that word bead, and then you got your enharmonics, so when you want to write your sharps, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp. They're all enharmonic with the flats here, so that you can make them sharps. Or you can do it this way: F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, B sharp. You can just simply add sharps to the basic letter name. So you either do it from F sharp here around with your enharmonics here, or you simply start with your just plain the letter name. F sharp is for the key of G. F sharp and C sharp for the key of D. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp for the key of A. 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. This just illustrates that everything is related to the intervals of fourths and fifths as you go around the circle. If you're going around the circle with the sharps, you're going to be going up F sharp to C sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp, C sharp. So you go from F sharp to C sharp, up 5 notes or down 4 notes. Now, if you're going to flats, if you're going around the key circle this way, then F to B is either down 5 notes or up 4 notes. If you go around the key circle this way, F sharp to C sharp, then F to C is 5 notes, or F to C is down 4 notes. F, F, E, D, C, and so on. So, fourths and fifths. Get that squared away in your mind. This is the circle, the key circle, and for the key signatures also, and it's the circle of fourths and fifths. And it depends upon whether you're going one way around the circle or the other way around the key circle, depending on whether you go up 5, down 4, or the opposite, up 4, down 5. Now, the only way you're going to learn this is by doing it and writing it out, because this is a written kind of a thing, and it's very important. Then you take your compositions and you can immediately tell that if you have 4 sharps in the key signature, all right, then you have 4 sharps in the key signature would be it's the 4 o'clock position, which would be the key of E, which is the 4 o'clock position. The key of E has 4 sharps then, because it's at the 4 o'clock position. What are they? F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. Or F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp. You see, it's the same thing. I'm using the enharmonics here, but I'm using the letter names here and adding the sharps to each letter name. Take your choice, doesn't matter. B flat is pretty straightforward though for your flat keys. The key of F has 1 flat, B flat, there it is. The key of B flat has 2 flats, and you start with B flat and E flat. B flat is at the 2 o'clock position, so it has 2 flats. E flat is at the 3 o'clock position, so it has 3 flats. Always starting with B flat. So 1, 2, 3 flats. B flat, E flat, A flat. And that's just part of that word bead. This makes it so easy to memorize, but the whole principle and how this relates to this is what you've got to work with until it's familiar to you, so that all this makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, you're going to go over it again and again and again until it does make sense, until you can pick out these key signatures with ease. One more thing before I drop off here. Your sharp keys, whatever is the last sharp, let's say you're in the key of A major with 3 sharps, because that's the 3 o'clock position. There you have it. G sharp is your last sharp then, because there's your 3 sharps. Well, G sharp is the leading tone of A. So that makes that easy if you remember that your last sharp will always be the key that you're in, the major key, not the minor key, but the major key. For flats, it's always next to the last flat. So if you're in the key of E flat, for example, E flat is at the 3 o'clock position on the clock, and it has 3 flat, B flat, E flat, A flat. The next to the last flat is the key that you're in. So if you're in the key of A flat major, which has 4 flats, because it's at the 4 o'clock position, so you just simply rattle them off, B, E, A, D, there's your word bead, and the next to the last flat is the key that you're in. That's another nice little thing. If you have a page there, good information, this is good information because it means that you can spot things very easily rather than having to go through the circle and how many sharps and all this sort of thing. You can just immediately pick out what key you're in. And if you do that with other people and they're working with you, you'd be a genius because you can see these things so easily. But it takes work. It takes a little bit of writing these things out. So remember, copy this out, these manuscript pages, and make a dozen of them so that you have plenty of space to work with. As for this, I'm taking this in my notebook here simply because I have it handy. If you have some computer paper handy or whatever you have, doesn't matter. But manuscript paper, that does matter. Okay. There you have it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.